Hello, everyone. This is Crystal here with your Monday and Tuesday reading. The timestamps will be below. Let's get right into the message. So, we have the Eight of Wands in reverse, we have the Two of Wands in reverse, the Seven of Wands, and the Seven of Pentacles. And our spiritual guidance is the Alchemist, which I'll read. So with the Eight of Wands in reverse, this can be delays in plans and things not going quite as expected. So just get yourself prepared for that. It's nothing that you have to get super upset about. But the Eight of Wands in reverse can bring a lot of miscommunication, delays in travel. And as I said, hello, Amber. Thank you for that 333 energy. I really appreciate it. Yeah, the Eight of Wands in reverse, it's not as tough as the Ace of Swords in reverse when it comes to miscommunication. It's the frustration of it all. It's the feeling you get when the miscommunication happens. But this could be a great day for traveling back. Some of you all are going back home or thinking about going back somewhere. Hey, Vicky. And it all depends. If this going back to something brings you calm and patience and stability, then go for it. But I hope you all aren't, sometimes this energy can make you with the Eight of Wands in reverse and the Two of Wands in reverse beat yourself up for feeling like you didn't do something you should have done. Should I have done this or went back to this place or went back to that idea? And the answer is that ultimately, we all are doing the best that we can. When we make those decisions, whenever they were or are, it's coming from a place of trying to do the best thing possible, right? And that's kind of when the Seven of Wands ties in, and it's using that your solar plex chakra to really empower you to know. And I'm hearing citrine, so any orange stone or like bright yellow stone would be really nice to use, specifically citrine today, because the Seven of Wands is a lot about standing up for yourself, and saying what needs to be said. Don't hold that in. The Seven of Wands is amazing at keeping her composure, his or her composure, but also knowing when that composure needs to be broken in order for a message to come through. So there is a lot of fire here, which can bring a bit of a clash with the Seven of Wands, because one part of you is like, stand up for yourself, do and say what needs to be said. But the other part of you is like in a more patient, practical way. Or it might be around finances or money or stability that you're having these conversations with. But the seven is here. So this is a very, very spiritual day. So it might feel a little weird or different. But ultimately, you can use this energy to trust your instincts, to trust your intuition, and to see, a good way of answering questions that you have will be, am I seeing things growing? Am I seeing things changing with whatever it is that I'm dealing with in my life right now? And that'll kind of show you, because if you're not getting growth from a situation, then a lot of the times that's a heads up to keep it pushing or to do something different. Next, we have the Alchemist, and it says the Alchemist card indicates a time of metamorphosis. So there goes that word of change again. It is a call to view everything in your current life as an opportunity for growth. Right now is a potent time to plant seeds. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Look at the Seven of Pentacles right next to it. I'm sorry. Right now is a potent time to plant seeds of what you want to invite in. It is also a reminder that our thoughts are incredibly powerful. We may not feel that we have a lot of control over our lives, but we can work hard at changing our thought patterns to ones that empower us. Whatever they are giving, the alchemist is able to transmute. They may have a handful of bad ingredients, but they are able to make magic of what they have. It can be a long process, but they hold a vision for a final product while continuing to show up in their negative situation and slowly work at transmuting it. Someone who is in the shadow alchemist may not believe in themselves. They may have both fear of failure and fear of success, keeping them paralyzed in their current situation. They can also minimize situations to keep from their true feelings inside, as opposing to getting them out and moving on. A key to becoming an alchemist is naming what is happening to you as you can work with it. Wow, that's a very powerful message. And so it is the ability to maybe transmute this negative, what seems negative situation into something positive for us all today. So that's interesting. So that is for Monday. Now let's move on to Tuesday. Tuesday, I'm going to start with our tarot, and then we'll move into the oracle message of the Magi. And so Tuesday comes in, and you get out of the passionate place, which to me, Wands energy, that fire energy, is a bit easier for me to deal with than the swords, because the swords is when something is constantly playing in your mind. The Six of Swords is a card about moving forward. It's about travel. It's about, but not travel because you were, inspired like the Two of Wands or the Eight of Wands to go to a new place. This is like, no, I had to go. I was forced to leave. Not necessarily by people ganging up on you, but maybe outside circumstances, or maybe just not being able to get peace at where you were. And so the Six of Swords is all about that, moving forward, moving on, not staying stagnant in a tough, negative situation, because some of you all are really stressing out on Tuesday about the lack of teamwork that you have in your life right now, or the lack of support that you feel like, is not there. But the Six of Swords asks you to look at what seems to be a tough situation and realize and think back to a time in your life to where you were in a tough situation, and by the help of the universe, your higher self, you making decisions you need to, you were able to get out of that. The Six of Swords always reminds me of that moment of if a natural disaster comes through. It's like, yeah, you can cry about everything that you've lost, but ultimately you have to move on to new territory and build a new community, a new life for yourself. And then the Three of Pentacles is here, which I kind of touched on, which is speaking about how well do the people in your life work with you? Do you feel alone? Do you feel like you're doing everything on your own? Or do you feel like your friends, your lovers, your family are there supporting you? Because the Three of Pentacles is all about teamwork. And, just if you feel like you're in a place of not being able to feel that, then reaching out to someone who can help. Now, what's funny is that we have a lot of like numbers repeating themselves. 777, 3 here, 3 plus 3 is 6. So I think a lot of this is going to have to do with the merging of energies on Tuesday. It's going to have to do with a lot of love and relationships, and the ability to find harmony even through your pain, and find harmony even through your hurt, because the Three of Swords is here activating, you look at this woman. And so, but the thing about it is, the only way we get to this place is when we isolate ourselves and we feel like we're going through whatever this is alone, or we're beating ourselves up. And we don't really have to when there's help here. The Three of Pentacles is the more comfortable energy. So it's like if you go through Tuesday just focusing all on your pain and on your suffering, then you won't be able to ultimately heal yourself and then ultimately help heal others. Because there is such a healing energy that's here, but it's also so much hurt. So don't allow your mind to trigger you. We're kind of getting a little subtle heads up from the universe. Focus on practical things, being patient, building and working with what you have, making something out of nothing. Once again, working with the people who work with you. This could be a person, after this woman was in some type of natural disaster, a corporation or a company that comes together, or family members who come together to help weave her life back together for her. So don't suffer alone, but also don't let your mind get the best of you and bring up so much trauma and pain. It can hurt, when you feel like there are things that you wish you could have done differently, but ultimately we're all trying to do the best that we can in this life. So try not to beat yourself up too much. It can hurt, but ultimately we have to find new ways of moving forward. Now, the last card we have is our oracle message. And this is the Magi, and it says the Magi indicates a period where you need to look deeper. It asks you to examine what you think you know and to keep going. Throughout our lives, we build an infrastructure of beliefs that allow us to navigate life. But so often this system is built on top of shaky foundation or out of weak materials. In other words, it is time to question which you have never noticed. What beliefs inform your decisions, passions, and ambitions? The Magi is a seer of illusions, and in turn, they are able to cut through the fog and get to the work. The Magi might see the world similar to a mirrored funhouse. They see the core of each experience and are able to acknowledge how many different realities exist in a single moment. That's deep, being able to see how many different scenarios or situations can play out. It's kind of like when you're in a game and it's like, they have those shows even now where it's like, allow, you choose either he picks up the key or he doesn't pick up the key. And then it tells the rest of the story, how it unfolds. And that's what I think about when I hear the Magi, because there are so many different realities that exist in one single moment. But sometimes we only see our own perspective, so it's hard to see from another person's point of view because it's so much more comfortable staying in what we believe is the truth or how we want to see things. Being able to see these many realities is a gift. It teaches us to be less attached to a single road, but instead see where all roads meet. If we are courageous enough to see and be open to our life unfolding along many different various roads, we invite in the magic that few get to experience. It's that moment when we realize all roads lead to heaven. As long as you're coming from this place of empowerment with the Magi. Even a balanced Magi can frustrate people. They have some trickster energy in that they see the bigger picture and may know the answer, but they will present the information to you in a way that may spin your head. They are gifted with words, and everything they say can have multiple meanings. When the Magi is unbalanced, they can be very manipulative and self-seeking. They may talk down to others as they believe themselves to be greater and more knowledgeable, rather than present the information meant to challenge others in the expectation that it will ultimately be empowering. The unbalanced Magi will present information in a way that is meant to make other people feel small. In fact, they may enjoy the fact that others don't understand. So it's so much power in wisdom and knowledge. And we've all seen those situations, and I think we all have to constantly check ourselves before we, think that we're better than others or we look down. And I struggle with this myself. When I see certain situations play out in the inner cities of America, I'm very frustrated. I'm very frustrated with the lack of awakening sometimes that I see in certain areas. And of course, that's not all inner cities. Obviously, we know that. And let me put it like this. The culture, sometimes I get irritated with like the rap and hip hop culture, and specifically rap, not more so hip hop. Because I feel that at this point, haven't we seen that killing and shooting and gang violence isn't the way to go? But I have to check myself to realize that in every moment is an opportunity to see yourself in someone else's shoes. I remember being brought up, in the city, and I remember so many challenges that I had to overcome and stereotypes that I had to fight out of. So in those moments, it's not meant for me to get frustrated with, necessarily the music or the fact that people aren't waking up and changing their lives. But it's a moment even for me to say, what are you doing with your life? How are you going to empower people? How are you going to get them to see that they don't have to, sell drugs or do low vibrational things that ultimately lead them into prisons, So I really enjoy this card and I take this to heart, because with that Magi energy, we do have the power to change. And I really appreciate that. So I will be absorbing this energy. Of course, as always, working on myself because none of us are perfect. And I hope that you all too on Tuesday find some type of teamwork, find someone who you can relate to and or who is much different from you. Challenge yourself with the Magi card. And of course, as always, having a great day and a happy June, you all. We are halfway through the year already. I know it's hard to believe. It is for me too. I'm really using this energy to kind of step my game up a bit. So let's all try not to be so hard on ourselves and do the best that we can. And I hope everyone has an amazing Monday and Tuesday. I'll talk to you later.